Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm diving into some spine-chilling territory with a couple of true hitchhiking horror stories. These tales are not for the faint of heart, as they come straight from real-life experiences that will make you think twice about who you might encounter on the road. So, buckle up and prepare for a journey into the eerie and unexpected world of hitchhiking gone wrong. Let's get started.
Story 1. Echoes in the Fog.
Elena gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white, as the figure vanished into the fog. The abandoned farmhouse loomed ahead, a skeletal silhouette against the dying light. John, ever the optimist, sighed. Just a creepy guy, that's all. Let's get back on the main road. He reached for the ignition, but the car sputtered and died. Panic flickered in Elena's eyes. John muttered a curse, fiddling with the engine to no avail. Looks like we're stranded, he said, his voice strained. A flicker of movement in the farmhouse window caught Elena's eye. It was gone in a flash, but the feeling of being watched intensified. Suddenly, the back door of the car creaked open. "Seems you'll be needing my help after all," a raspy voice emerged from the shadows. The man held a flashlight, its beam illuminating harsh lines on his face, the unsettling smile now a cruel gash. Fear coiled tighter in Elena's stomach, but John stepped forward, defiance in his voice. "What do you want?" The man chuckled, a sound cold and dry like dead leaves scraping on pavement. "Shelter, for one. Maybe a little payback for your friend's hospitality." He gestured towards the farmhouse, the flashlight beam revealing a boarded-up window. The wood cracked and splintered. A sense of dread washed over Elena. This wasn't just a random pickup. Inside the farmhouse, dust motes danced in the flickering light of the flashlight. The air hung heavy with the smell of damp earth and something else, decay. Elena shivered, a cold sweat forming on her skin. The man, introducing himself as Tobias, led them down a creaky hallway, past rooms that seemed to hold their breath, waiting. He stopped before a doorway, the boards broken away, revealing a steep, dusty staircase leading down. "The cellar," Tobias said, his voice echoing in the cramped space. "My haven." Elena felt a surge of rebellion. This was a trap. But before she could voice her protest, John, ever the pragmatic one, stepped forward. "What do you want, Tobias? Money? We can call someone when?" A harsh laugh cut him off. Tobias's eyes gleamed in the dim light, a predator sizing up its prey. "You'll be calling no one," he snarled. "This house has secrets you stumbled upon, and secrets have a way of keeping themselves hidden." He shoved open the trapdoor and motioned with the flashlight. "Down you go." Fear threatened to consume Elena, but a flicker of defiance sparked in her eyes. Tobias wouldn't win. This wasn't about money or a broken car. This was something deeper, something sinister. She grabbed John's arm, her voice firm. "No, we're not going down there." John looked at her, surprised at the newfound steel in her voice. Just then, a loud bang came from outside, followed by the unmistakable whine of a car engine. Tobias's face contorted in anger. He cursed under his breath and lunged towards the window, slamming it shut. "Someone's here," he hissed. "Stay put. This won't take long." He scurried down the hallway, leaving Elena and John in an unnerving silence. Elena looked at John, relieved yet apprehensive. "Who could that be?" she whispered. John shrugged. "Maybe a neighbor heard the car die?" Hope flickered in their eyes, a fragile candle flame in the oppressive darkness. But it was short-lived. A muffled scream, a struggle, then an eerie silence. Elena and John exchanged panicked glances. The silence was deafening, pregnant with a terrifying unknown. Slowly, cautiously, Elena crept towards the hallway, John close behind. The air thrummed with tension. They reached the room Tobias had entered moments ago. The door was ajar. Elena peeked inside. Her blood ran cold. The room was empty, but on the floor, bathed in a sliver of moonlight, lay a single object, Tobias's flashlight. It was dark. Fear, raw and primal, clawed its way up Elena's throat. She stumbled back, colliding with John. They were trapped, alone, with an unseen horror for company. Suddenly, a low hum resonated from the cellar, a rhythmic, pulsing sound that sent shivers down Elena's spine. It was a sound that spoke of ancient machinery, of secrets better left buried. Elena knew, with a chilling certainty, that whatever Tobias was hiding was awake, and they were no longer its only guests.
Story 2. Highway of the Forgotten.
The silence of the deserted highway was shattered by the screech of Eli's brakes. There, bathed in the meager glow of his headlights, stood a solitary figure. A woman with wind-blown hair and eyes that held a haunting depth. Her presence was as unexpected as it was unsettling. This stretch of asphalt was rarely used, even during the day. Hesitantly, Eli rolled down the window. "Need a lift?" The woman, Maya, offered a grateful smile as she climbed in, pulling the door shut with a definitive click. "Thank you," she murmured, settling into the worn leather seat. "I wasn't sure anyone would stop." As they drove, the fog seemed to thicken, curling around the car like a living serpent. "So, where are you headed?" Eli asked, glancing at her in the rearview mirror. Maya appeared older than her initial impression suggested, her face etched with a weariness that seemed to seep into the car's atmosphere. "Just up ahead," she replied vaguely, gesturing into the swirling mist. "Not far." That's when the oddities began. The radio, silent moments before, crackled to life, flipping through stations with a possessed frenzy before settling on a mournful, old-time tune. Eli reached to turn it off, but Maya's hand shot out, stopping him. "Leave it," she said, her voice strangely distant. "It's been a long time." The song played eerily, the notes warping and twisting as if the signal itself was haunted. Then, a rusted sign flickered into view, its message obscured by clinging ivy. "Old cemetery grounds," Maya commented, her gaze fixed on the disappearing sign. "Not on the maps anymore. People forget." The air inside the car grew heavy, the edges of Eli's vision blurring like a watercolor painting. Shadows danced in the corner of his eye, flitting about in the dim light. "There's a bridge coming up," Maya said casually. Strange things happen around it. As they approached, Eli's headlights flickered, casting an unsettling stutter on the road ahead. A fleeting glimpse in the rearview mirror showed figures standing by the water's edge, their movements jerky and unnatural. But when he blinked, they were gone. They don't like it, Maya murmured, her voice barely a whisper. Who doesn't like it? Eli choked out, his voice cracking. The ones who stay here. Imagine being tired for an eternity, finally settling down for a good sleep, and then someone shines a bright light in your face. Wouldn't you be annoyed? Her explanation was chillingly simple, yet somehow true. They drove in a tense silence for a while, until the car's temperature dropped sharply. Eli could see his own breath fogging the space between him and Maya. She seemed oblivious, her gaze fixed on the road ahead. There's a diner just up ahead, she said, breaking the silence. Abandoned now, but sometimes, if you look closely, you can see the patrons inside. Eli stared at her, unease twisting his gut. See them how? Just watch. As they passed the dilapidated building, Eli dared a glance. There, behind the grime-coated windows, sat frozen silhouettes of people mid-meal, their heads turned unnaturally slow, following the cars passing. His heart hammered against his ribs, the sight too surreal to process. Who are they? What's happening? He stammered, his voice barely a whisper. They're stuck, Maya replied, her eyes reflecting a sorrow as deep as the night. Stuck souls, forgotten by time. But hey, at least they're not stuck on the road like me. Her last words hung in the air, a chilling revelation wrapped in a simple statement. Like you? Eli echoed, his mind struggling to grasp the situation. Yes, she admitted, her voice steady. I've been on this road longer than you can imagine, always hitching rides, but never reaching my destination. A cold shiver ran down Eli's spine. Why? What keeps you here? Maya finally turned to look at him, her face illuminated by the flickering dashboard lights. Unfinished business, she said, the words echoing in the car's confined space. There's something I need to do, something I should have done a long time ago. What is it? Eli asked, the weight of her gaze making it difficult to breathe. Just keep driving, she instructed, pointing towards a sharp bend in the road ahead. It's not far now. As they rounded the bend, the air grew thick and oppressive. The radio erupted in a cacophony of static and distorted voices, the car itself shuddering violently.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to listen to similar stories in future.